Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Talk with the Titans, live from London, UK, all the way to the US of A and worldwide. I'm your host, Kalam, and this is Talk with the Titans. What's really good, family? Talk to me, family. I really need to hear your words. I'm feeling good. I'm back in the studio right now, and I'm about to go in on something. Earlier on this week, I was speaking about a particular pamphlet that was issued out by Brixton Masjid, Brixton Mosque, a Salafi mosque, basically by an individual and a scholar, an ustad, a sheikh, somebody of repute, namely Abdulhaq Al-Ashanti. Okay, so he wrote a pamphlet in response to Afrocentric, Kemetic claims and so forth. So I know I was just speaking about it, but you guys never got to feel it. Okay, you never got to feel it as such. I spoke to my brother Abdul Hamid, and he says that he's actually going to be distributing these pamphlets in Speaker's Corner on Sunday. Okay. Unfortunately, I may not be around in Speaker's Corner on the Sunday, so I'm just going to do something real quickly for you guys who may be receiving this pamphlet for the very first time and don't know exactly how to take it. So what I want to do before much further ado is actually just show you guys the pamphlet whilst I'm actually speaking right now, so you guys can have a clue of what's going on. And if you guys want to join the panel as well, please, come on, man, come on. I would love to get you guys on here. So please inbox me if you would like to be on the panel. I might even send out the link a little bit later on as well. So peace to Terry Riggs. I see you, family. We've got Betty in the building. You What Mate is in the building as well. Bigger Valley in the building. So we've got quite a few people up with us today. I know it's early. Christian is in the building. Boss Hum is in the building. Joe Jobs in the building as well. Was good. Terry Riggs. All right. And John McDermott as well. So yeah, this is the particular pamphlet that they've got out for us at present, and it's called Tawheed. Okay, the Pharaoh Akhenaten and the Kemet Afrocentrics, a refutation of Afrocentric writings on Islam, part 1. So I'm just going to quickly go through it and see there's a little highlightings and stuff. That's me just doing a little quick highlighting of what's been going on. So things that I found that was very interesting. So this is their pamphlet. Hopefully you guys can kind of screenshot or just kind of look at it when this video is finished, kind of save it and kind of have a read through if you don't want to wait till Sunday, basically, when you'll be able to fully see this pamphlet in full effect. Let's see if I can just make my screen a little bit bigger so you all can see it as well. Give me a second. Make sure it's nice for you. All right, Ezra, I see you, King. So this is it right here. All right. This is the pamphlet that they've got. 7 pages in total. Okay. And that is the last page right there. As you can see, it's written by AbdulHaq Al-Ashanti by the Masjid Ibn Taymiyyah, or Taymiyyah, sorry, in Brixton. So this is the pamphlet that we're actually going to go through today. It's going to be a nice little study session. So you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do, family? Because I love you guys. I actually want you guys to come in, join us, and have a read through. Let us know what your opinions are. Like, let's make this really interactive so I can have the family on board. Okay, so let's see. That is the Hangout link right there if you guys would like to get on board. All right. So already sung this particular pamphlet's praise, or should I say this particular author's praise, on his ability to do research, his ability to actually formulate succinct arguments, regardless if I thought it didn't actually follow suit completely. I actually gave him his credit where credit was actually due. He proved himself at first glance to be a very well-informed scholar. He produced works that I thought was okay. It was well referenced. It showed me that you was well read. And that's my praise. That's my praise so far towards this particular author. Unfortunately, I'm sure the first video was like a couple days ago. I did show my reluctance. I did show where I thought, and this is just me reading this, like just quickly, just skim reading it real quickly, just to go through, like, okay, cool. And then I done it a second time, and I was like, all right. Then I said, okay, let me actually go through your references this time. Let me actually go through your references. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I was disappointed, to say the least. I was I was disappointed. I was 100% disappointed. I want to be humble and I want to be, very nice. So I'm very cautious with my words right about now. But a lot of times you hear people saying, "Oh, it was disingenuous." I don't even want to use words like that. But these are the types of words that I keep springing to my mind, springing to my mind. I'm thinking, fam, this is almost fraudulent. This is almost fraudulent. Like the work is almost fraudulent, and I think it's a gross misrepresentation of Kemetic, Afrocentric thought, scholarship, and so forth. I was like, fam, what you're doing here. I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry for my brother as well. That's how bad it was in my eyes. I wanted to cry for the brother. So actually, let me go into some detail right now so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Because I'm talking, but ain't seeing. And again, if you guys want to come on, come on. Kalam, AbdulHaq X-Boxer, wasn't he like extreme? I don't want to quote nothing like that. So I don't know. I don't know who the brother is like that. But let's get it in, family. Let's get it in. Again, if you guys would like to join us right now, all right, jump on board and join us. Okay, jump on board and join us. What are you saying? Who else is here? Simba's in the building. Kind of what? Let's see. Simba's here. Mr. Singh is here. What's good? Let me know if everything is rolling nicely. So again, I'm actually going to go through and analyze the claims. I'm going to go through and analyze the claims that he was actually making inside of this article. And I'm going to just quickly rebut what he was actually putting forward. So let's get it in, family. Let's get it in real quickly. So again, I'm actually going to share my screen and show you his article so you can see it again for those people who are just coming in new. So this is his article here, Tawheed, the Pharaoh Akhenaten, and the Kemet Afrocentrics, a refutation of Afrocentric writings on Islam, part 1. All right, so this is it. We're getting into this. Now, what I actually found was completely appalling by this work here. The title alludes to the Afrocentric Kemet claims. And when you go through the whole of this particular article, the whole of the pamphlet itself, it literally cites about two Afrocentric Kemetics, so to speak. Only 2. And the rest of them is European scholarship. And I'm thinking to myself, this is a bit misleading. This is 100% misleading. I thought this was about Kemet. This has got nothing to do with Kemet or Kemetic way of understanding or Kemetic philosophy or Kemetic writers or Kemetic scholarship. You prefaced it as it's a refutation of Afrocentric writings on Islam. It's got nothing to do with Afrocentric writings on Islam. So let's get into this. I'm going to read it, the very first page. I'm going to read out. He makes literally about 2 to 3 claims inside of this pamphlet. So let me read it out. Tawheed, the Pharaoh Akhenaten, and the Kemetic Afrocentrics. Islam is based upon Tawheed, singling out Allah alone for worship, with a monotheism which is distinct from all other faiths. Allah says in the Quran, etc., 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 also says, etc., etc. That's the Quran. So I'm not even going to continue with that. Let's actually go towards his claim. His claim here is, however, some of the Afrocentric Kemet thinkers have asserted that Islam has merely adopted Tawheed from the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. That's interesting. It's very interesting. At this point, I'm expecting you to also state which of these Afrocentric scholars actually make this claim. Which ones? Anyways, it continues. The Kemet movement also shares many similarities. There we go again. We go into the poisoning of the well. So I'm not even going to read it out because he now speaks about Freemasonry, Aleister Crowley, Europeans over here. And now he goes on to, making a second claim. So the first claim was Afrocentric Kemet thinkers have asserted that Islam has merely adopted Tawheed from the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. That's his claim. Second claim. There is also the argument that is popular with many in the Kemet movement that the teachings of Musa, alayhi salam, were merely taken from the ancient Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day, the 125th chapter in particular. Not only do little of the laws given to Musa overlap, but also this ancient Egyptian magic spell book contains clear polytheism and idol worship, etc., etc. So how could the Prophet Musa derive knowledge from this when it contravenes the pure worship of Allah? So he's making the second claim is that the Kemetic movement, okay, doesn't quote no scholars, but he says the Kemetic movement says that the teachings of Musa were merely taken from the ancient Egyptian coming forth by day, the 125th chapter. Okay, although little of the laws given to Musa actually overlap. So that is the second claim of the so-called Kemets, I would assume, okay, that the 125th chapter is, is basically taken, elements of that was taken and put into Musa's laws, basically. Now, let's go again, down here. Akhenaten and his supposed monotheism. The Afrocentric and Kemetic movement claim that Islam derived its concept of Tawheed and monotheism from ancient Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. Okay, again, the Afrocentrics and Kemet movement claims that Islam derived its concept of Tawheed, and now, he differentiates between Tawheed and monotheism by saying Tawheed and monotheism from the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. Okay, that's the second claim. That's the first claim that he made in the beginning, just kind of, giving more detail to it now. Okay, and then the second claim is about the Book of the Dead and the 125th chapter and the laws, etc. So he makes two claims within inside of this book, which is like, okay, cool. Now, quote where you're getting that information from. Actually quote it. You're able to quote the Quran perfectly. You're able to quote European scholars perfectly. Carry on quoting European scholars yet again. You can do that all day long, quoting them, leaving footnotes and so forth. You can quote, like you're good at quoting. I'll give it to you. You're able to, Patrick Spencer, the Egyptian temple lexicography, like you're able to quote European scholars profoundly. Like you could do it. You even going into somebody, Tamara El Siudra, again, that's somebody who deals with Kemeticism, but she's a European. Like you're able to quote these people perfectly, but at the same time, you haven't yet quoted not one Afrocentric or Kemet scholar. So I'm wondering what's going on here. What's going on here? What are you trying to do? What exactly are you trying to do? Because so far, you're making claims. You're making claims that I'm all right, cool. I have yet to hear any Afrocentric. I want to know, just show me one work within inside of the Afrocentric scholarship that claims that the Muslims adopted Tawheed, okay? Adopted Tawheed from Kemet. I have seen nowhere that any author has done that personally. I'm just going to say that personally. I'm going to put that out there and say personally, I haven't seen it. So what I'm seeing right now is you basically strawmanning. That's all you're doing. You're strawmanning. And you're strawmanning hard, very hard, okay? But it doesn't even stop there. It doesn't even stop there because you're not even quoting nobody. You're not quoting anybody within the body of your articles. I'm going to jump into your footnotes in a minute. Don't get it twisted. I'm going to jump into your footnotes. That's where the true gems are here, where you get your misunderstanding from. And it just shows that you're trying to actually misrepresent Kemetic thought and Kemetic philosophy. Because anybody within inside of Kemetic philosophy will let you know that Akhenaten was considered to be a heretic. So even to bring up Akhenaten and to say this is what the Kemetics even think or believe or whatever the case is, yeah, he was a heretic. That was like a blip within inside of the Kemetic history, so to speak, a little blip that literally got destroyed the following time. So I was like, why are you even bringing up Akhenaten? It doesn't even make no sense. It seems as though you're trying your very best to obfuscate from the actual point itself. But what do I know? I know I've made several videos connecting Tawheed or Tawheedo to Islam and to Kemet, and it was never to do with Akhenaten. So I was thinking to myself, okay, maybe you're gonna connect something that Kalam says. But no, you tried your very best to make a claim yet not support it with any scholarship. But I'm going to rewind. Because I'm going to say you did try an attempt to cite something within inside of your footnotes. You don't put it within inside of your article. And it's literally only two scholars you name from the Afrocentric community. I'm going to actually go into your scholarship itself, your ability to actually discern and read. I always find it curious, yeah, because I've spoken to various Muslims, and I'm not going to say it's all Muslims. I'm just going to say some Muslims, and I understand you believe that your prophet was illiterate, but that's no excuse. That is no excuse for you in 2017, the 21st century, for you to be illiterate. There's no excuse for illiteracy right now. There's no excuse for misreading things. There is no excuse, because I don't take that as misreading. I take that as misrepresentation and fraud. You're actually perpetuating a fraud on Kemetic philosophers and Kemetic thinking. And I'm going to go into that right now. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So there's number one. Let me go into this, because I was disappointed. I want to hail him up as a very good scholar, but I was disappointed. I've got to keep it real. In my heart of hearts, I was disappointed. Okay. So here is the claim. However, some of the Afrocentric Kemetic thinkers have asserted that Islam has merely adopted Tawheed from the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. Okay, that's the claim. As you can see, there's a little number 2. It's a footnote. Let's go into number 2 of the footnote. It's from AbdulHaq Al-Ashanti. And here he now actually cites what's been said. For example, stated in his book From Imhotep to Akhenaten, an introduction to the Egyptian philosophers, page 60. Nevertheless, like the names of the supreme deity in Yoruba, Akan, Igbo, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, the functions and roles of the deity in Kemet remain the same through these various transformations. Herein, so now he's claiming, this is his quote, now his claim is, herein attempting to portray Islam as a mere adapted version of the credo of the ancient Egyptian pharaohs. That's very interesting. Does this particular quote here actually substantiate what you're claiming about what the author actually wrote? Let's actually go into the author's work itself. This is the beauty of it. We can actually read what the author wrote instead of reading what you're claiming. So I'm going to just quickly go up. Let me go up real quickly. So first of all, from his book, I'm going to just go. This is chapter about the celestial elements, and he's talking about the different philosophers and how they came to certain conclusions. So I'm just going to go down to page 59 of the quote before I reach 60, because we need to get things into context. Okay, so 59 here states, the incomprehensible one in the indefinable cosmic sea was the infinite source of the universe, but itself outside of any concept of time and space. None of the philosophers that I discuss in this book held any different view, and every seat of instruction and every center of initiation reiterated this concept of the one. Okay, so let me just continue reading. Okay, whether the philosophers was a student of Hermopolis, Memphis, Hermopolis, or Thebes, which are the Greek names for On, Menefer, Jehuti, and Waset, respectively, every major site of the professional priesthood came to the same conclusion about the nature of the one and the creation of the universe. So just to put that into perspective, every in Kemet, there is 42 different nomes, but within those 42 different nomes, there are select temples which embody the highest articulation of the community's expression of what deity and the cosmology was. So you have the different temples which were mentioned Heliopolis, Memphis, Hermopolis, and Thebes. Okay, and they each have their own theology and they each have their own cosmological outlook, but they've each and every single one of them came to the same conclusion that there is one deity or one essential nature, basically, and the universe was formed or created from that particular one, the monad. So that's what is being claimed there. Then it continues. What differed from time to time was the name of the one, who was called Ptah, Ra, Atum, and even Amun, or Amun-Ra in later times. Here it goes now. This is the bit that he quotes. Nevertheless, like the names of the supreme deity in Yoruba, Akan, Igbo, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, the function and roles of the deity in Kemet remain the same through these various transformations. Okay? So he's using an example, okay? A simile right now, okay? Just like the names in Yoruba, just like the supreme deity in Yoruba or Kan or Christianity. For example, you can call God Yahweh, Theos, Al Shaddai, Elohim. No matter what change of name was given to this particular deity, okay, the function and roles of the deity in Kemet remain the same through these various transformations. That is what the author is talking about. It has nothing to do with, what are you claiming? What are you claiming exactly about Tawheed came from Akhenaten? Has nothing to do with that. Has nothing to do with, let me just read again what you was trying to claim here. Herein trying to portray Islam as a mere adapted version of the credo of the ancient Egyptian pharaohs. Where? I just no. I've got to look in. I've got to look at you guys right now. I want to know where, Abi, where did you come to that? How, Abi, how did you come to that conclusion? I'm so baffled. I'm actually baffled. I actually thought like, okay, like you've done some type of research, some type of scholarship. I don't even know how you even come to these type of conclusions. Because this is not even the first time you've done it. You've done it the second time. You even tried to put the same type of claim on Dr. Ben. Let me actually go to what you said about Dr. Ben as well. That's what frustrated me, you know. This is what frustrated me. You actually misrepresented our ancestors. And you, my brother, you're a Ghanaian brother as well. So, you know, it's like fair enough if a Persian, an Arabic person did all of this. Yeah, you've got no respect for the ancestors. You don't have a need to have respect for the ancestors. But for you, my brother, you're actually putting words into these scholars' mouths here and perpetuating a fraud on their name. And that's what hurt me the most, because we have to stand up. For those of us, regardless of what religion we have, yeah, but we come from African ancestry, number one is honor your ancestors, you know, honor your ancestors. Make sure you keep them up in high repute. But you was trying to do some slanderous work on them. Let me just go back into your actual article and show you the slander that you was perpetuating on them again. Again, you said about Dr. Ben. Yosef Ben Yochanan also argues similar. Yosef Ben Yochanan also argues similar to what you're trying to claim about Akhenaten up here, okay? Similar in his book, Black Man of the Nile and His Family, 1972, page 365, a modern writer. So right here, you're quoting our scholars. And let's see what Dr. Ben was talking about. Guess what he was talking about? Nothing to do with Tawheed, nothing to do with monotheism, nothing to do with any of that. He was actually talking about pre-Christian crosses. Pre-Christian crosses. And the only thing that I can potentially think that you came to the conclusion of, where you're adding him into the same conclusion or same assertion, is right here, where the only time Akhenaten's name was mentioned. So let's actually go into it. It says page 365 to 371 following are presented for the purpose of showing the student, researchers, educator, and general reader that there are literally thousands of crosses and other symbols related to Christianity which the general parishioners are kept ignorant of. The same being very much true for the swastika. All of these symbols have been used before the origin of Christianity in North Africa, Egypt. All of them predated the proclaimed birth of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, and all of the other 16 saviors who came to save the world after Pharaoh Akhenaten taught the same teachings to the Africans of the Nile River Valley high culture over 2,000 years before Christians' Holy Bible was written. So I want to know, where did you get Tawheed from this conversation? Where did you even get monotheism from this conversation? Dr. Ben here is actually talking about crosses, the various different forms of crosses, the swastika, the Tau cross, the Ankh. Well, he doesn't mention all these things, but we know exactly what he's referring to here. All of these things, all of these crosses that predated Christianity. That's what the brother is actually discussing here. Nothing to do with Tawheed, nothing to do with monotheism. He talks about the different 16 saviors as well. If you read books on the different savior archetypes, that's throughout different cultures like Hinduism, Greek, Persian, and so forth. That was during the time of Akhenaten, after the time of Akhenaten. That's the only thing he actually mentions. So I'm baffled when I'm reading your scholarship. I'm thinking, bruv, where are you coming from? Where are you exactly coming from? I don't know if it's just me. I want my people to talk back to me and see what is going on here, because I was baffed reading your work and I thought you was actually a scholar. And another thing as well, your whole thing is to do with the last one. Let me just actually go to the last one. The last one here, because I want to know, has anybody from an Afrocentric community, have you heard of the name of this particular person? His name here is called Ahmed Osman. Ahmed Osman. Does anybody refer to Ahmed Osman as somebody who is a Kemetic or an Afrocentric? I know many of you may not even know who this person is, but let me know if you know who Ahmed Osman is. Let me know, because as he now brings up this next person called Ahmed Osman, and I'm actually going to show you a picture of who Ahmed Osman is, so you guys know who I'm talking about. Let me do this real quickly. Like he's a Kemetic, somebody of Kemet that we follow or something. Baffled, you know, proper baffled. Proper baffled. Let me just share my entire screen. Let's see. Can we go to, let's see if he's got Ahmed Osman. Let's see. This is Ahmed Osman right here. This is him. This is him. Okay. He is a European Egyptian, or Europeoid, a Europoid, a Caucasoid Egyptian, who got the impetus of his work, from what's it called, Freud. And you want to say this is like you're quoting this person again? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Here we go. Let me just show you him. Let me actually show you him. Let's go to my laptop. My laptop is moving my bookie. This is Ahmed Osman. This is him right here. This is him. This is him. This is him right here. That's him right there. That's him. That's him. Is he Afrocentric? Is he writing for the ploys of African people, black people? I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. Name me one work that he does that is Afrocentric, that's minimizing the Eurocentric views of black people. Just show me one work he does like that. Show me one work that he does something that is Kemetic. I don't know. I don't know where you're putting up these sources, because I even see Tamara El Siuda in there and so forth. And I'm like, fam, the beginning of your pamphlet, the actual front page itself, the front page, you don't see what the front page wrote. The front page stated that this is a refutation on Afrocentric Kemetic writings on Islam, I believe, something along those lines. But you quoted out of all of that 2 Afrocentric scholars that wasn't even backing up your premise in the first place. And then a third individual that you quoted in the same section. That's the only place you actually give sources to who is making these claims. The 2 people weren't even making those claims at all. So again, I've got to say it's fraudulent. What you're doing, it's very fraudulent. Dr. Ben was talking about crosses. And then now you related that to Tawhid and monotheism. That was just baffling. That was absolutely baffling. Malefi K. Asante, like he's got to be the epitome of Afrocentric writing, African Institute, like that. He is up there. He's the height of everything. And then you even lied upon him. You even lied upon him. He never claimed that Islam adopted monotheism from Akhenaten. Nowhere in that work that you cited he does that. So I'm curious, why are you doing this? Why? I'm baffled, man. You let me know, man. I need somebody on to let me know what's going on, because I was upset. You know, it upset my soul. Obviously, I'm trying to keep my composure, because I want to respect my brother, but I'm just upset by what was given. Very upset, because it's just pure misrepresentation. Tell me, It's a bullshit piece of work, that's for sure. Okay. Oh, you ready as well? Saracen, you ready? Saracen, come on, man. Talk to me. I need you on here, brother. I need you on here. Come on, man. I need you on here because you're Muslim and you're saying it's BS as well. So I need to know what you're saying. I've just posted the link. So if you guys want to come on and let me know what you're saying. Because I don't want to say it's BS. Like I thought, to be honest with you, the article was well written. The only problem it was to me is that your premise was faulty. Your premise was faulty. The remainder of the article was good. I like the way you sourced things. I like the way you cited it and so forth. I liked it. I like the way how you came to your conclusion and so forth. But the problem is, if the premise is false or fallacious, you're gonna get a fallacious conclusion, right? Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. You with me? Because if you now talk about you want to get to the conclusion of what is 3 times 3, but you put 3 plus 3, no matter what, the conclusion is going to be 6, where the conclusion was supposed to be 9. 3 times 3. So that little madness that you done in the premise, your intention was to show one thing, but what you actually wrote was 2 different things. Like I'm baffled. How is this passing for scholarship? And please, I know you said I know my brother's saying that you've written a 300-page book on all sorts. Like, please, before you even put that book into print, send me a copy. Send me a copy. Just send me a copy. Send me one. I will actually peer review it for you, my brother. I'll peer review it. No harm done. You can pay me if you choose, but I'll do it for you for free because you're my brother. I'll do it for you for free because I don't want you to miseducate your Muslim brothers on what Kemetic thought is. Because that's not good. This is circulating in Brixton Mosque, it's circulating in Frimsby, it's circulating all around the country, and it's a fraudulent piece. It's a fraudulent work. Like that's as much I can say. Because you're stating certain things you never sourced. You never said, Afrocentrics, Kemets said Akhenaten, gay Muslims adopted Tawheed from Akhenaten. Okay, which Afrocentric said this? You never done that. You could do it for the Quran. The Quran says this, and you quote the Quran verbatim. Or Europeans says this, and you quote the Europeans verbatim. But for the Afrocentrics, you didn't even do that with inside the body of your article. Then you try to slip it under there with the footnotes. With the footnotes. And even the footnotes don't even substantiate what you're saying. This is what's hurting me, Imagine that. Nah, man. I would have actually ripped this. I would have actually ripped this up, If I had this right now with me, I think I would have to rip this up and say, start again. This is it, Tawheed, the Pharaoh Akhenaten, and the Kemet Afrocentrics, a refutation of Afrocentric writings on Islam. What are you refuting exactly? Because you haven't quoted not one Afrocentric writing throughout the whole thing. You've cited in footnotes, granted footnotes, yeah. But they weren't even saying the things that you're saying. I'm expecting it to be filled with Afrocentric writings. Look at it. Show me one place in the body of your work, okay? I'm not talking about the footnotes now, the body of your work where there is an Afrocentric writer that you're quoting. Where are you quoting them? Where? You're not refuting no Afrocentric. You're refuting Egyptologists, yeah, maybe. Just about, barely even that. Because they don't make the claim that Tawheed comes from Akhenaten. Even they don't, they're not silly enough to make that claim. The most that they could, I'm sure, even if Kemet wants to make the claim, they might even say, "Oh, you stole your Tawheed from the Christians or the Jews." I was like, I don't know. Come on, man. No, man. I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed. I'm actually disappointed. Anyways, who's with me right now? Afronamic. What are you saying, fam? Are you there? Are you here to talk? Let me know. And otherwise as well, man.
Yeah, I'm here.
You there, yeah? Talk to me, family. Talk to me. I don't know if it's just me. I'm just upset with this work. I'm upset by it. Talk to me.
Yeah, it don't make no sense to me personally. To be honest, I kind of just jumped on about 10 minutes ago. So, If you're saying that the Tawhid is written by Akhenaten, I don't see where it can line up. I don't know where he's seeing the connection to line up with the two.
No. To be honest, he's not even saying that. He's trying to refute it. Okay, he's trying to refute it, and I would even applaud him for even trying to refute it as well. But the wickedest thing he's trying to say is that Kemetics make this claim. Yeah. That people of Kemetic philosophy make that claim. And then he even attempted to quote two Afrocentric scholars who supposedly make the claim, but nowhere in their works actually makes the claim. So to me, what he's doing right now is creating a straw man. Yeah. He's creating an illusionary figure for him to attack. He can't attack Kemet directly based upon what they're saying or based upon the articles or the books or the journals that they've actually authored. But let me actually create a fallacious, this is what Kemet are saying. This is what the people of Kemet are saying. And let me put words into the mouth of this particular figure. And Kemet say that it's taken from Akhenaten. Hold on. Let's actually look into this straw man that you're creating here. And we realize that there's no Kemet or person of Kemetic philosophy or Kemetic writings or Afrocentric writings that has made this claim. No one at all. It's disturbing. It's disturbing. And then my brother Saracen here says, it's a BS piece of work, that's for sure. Okay? So your own Muslim brothers are telling you it's BS. When you look at what African linguists say, then the Afro-Asiatic Semitic goes out the window. Let's see. Let me see what else people are saying here. Okay, this is just upsetting me. Again, if you guys want to come on, yeah, Muslim, Christian, Jew, atheist, Kemetic, Afrocentric, whatever you are, come on, man. Come on. I've got a little time to spare, so come on. All right, let me jump back in. So now the second claim. Let me actually go into the second claim whilst we're still here. The second claim my man makes is this. Let's pull it up real quickly. It says here, there is also the argument that is popular with many in the Kemet movement, that the teachings of Musa were merely taken from the ancient Egyptian book of the coming forth by day, the 125th chapter in particular. So that's it. Okay, so basically the teachings of Musa. Let me just read this. The teachings of Musa were merely taken from the ancient Egyptian book of the coming forth by day. Now again, like at least quote who's actually saying this. That's what I'm going to say. Quote who's saying this, because you're making my work very difficult for me, because I've got to do your own homework and find out who inside of the Kemetic school of thought actually makes the claim. Who actually makes the claim? Because nobody don't make that claim that you just made. Again, like you're just making straw man arguments. Let me actually direct the claim that people actually make. Let me just see. Do I have it here? Maybe not. Maybe not. See, I'm even going into some next books here that I'm even trying to find something that even helps to substantiate what the brother's even saying. That's how bad it is. I'm actually trying to do your homework for you, just so you can actually have a place to stand with me. I even believe it's here, you know. Let's see. Let's see here. It says here, I'm reading from Nile Valley Contribution of Civilization. Okay, so I'm seeing where he gives the 42 conversations. By conservative estimates, the 42 declarations of Ma'at were written approximately 1,500 years before the writing of the 10 Commandments. By comparing the two documents, one will find striking comparisons. The following list reflects the numbering most commonly used in English language reference to the 10 Commandments, and those which are similar to the 42 declarations are highlighted by parenthesis. Okay, so this is what he does on page 92 of Nile Valley Contribution to Civilization. Okay, Nile Valley Contribution to Civilization. He basically, the only thing that he states here is by comparing the two documents, one will find striking comparisons. That's what he writes. That's what he writes, not according to your claims. Okay, and he now lists the 10 commandments, and it shows you at least 8 of them. I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt have no other gods before me. That's that's commandment, or sorry, I say that is the 41 commandments. What am I saying? Commandments, laws of Ma'at, confessions of Ma'at. Yeah, let's use confessions of Ma'at. That's number 41. Thou shalt not make any graven images. It's not there. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. That's number 7, 37, and 41 in the 42 laws of Ma'at. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. It's not in there. So that's the second one that's not in there. And then it also says, honor thy mother and thy father. That's number 1, 12, and 28 in the 42. Thou shalt not kill. That's number 4 in there. Thou shalt not commit adultery. That's number 11, 20, and 21. Thou shalt not steal. That's number 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 39, and 40. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. That's number 8, 13, 18, and 29. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house or wife. That's number 13, 20, 21, 29, and 33. So we can clearly see, okay, that out of the 10 commandments that's written by Moses or given to Moses or whatever it is, okay, at least 8 of them, okay, have some type of resemblance with the 42 laws of Ma'at or the 42 negative confessions. But yet you wanted to, even your claim was a straw man, but let's just even go into it and just be nice for a hot second, okay? And then you wanted to say, what did you want it to say? There is also the argument that popular with many in the Kemetic movement that the teachings of Musa were merely taken from the ancient Egyptian book of the coming forth by day, the 125th chapter in particular. No, we just find it very striking. Okay, we find it very striking that the similarities are so bold and so in your face. We find it very striking. We're asking you, explain that to us. But anyways, let me continue. Not only do little of the laws given to Musa overlap, but also the ancient. What do you mean? Not only do the little of the laws of Musa actually overlap, we just showed you at least 8 of your 10 commandments clearly overlap with the 42 negative confessions. So again, like your whole refutation, your whole claims are all faulty, and I'm pretty sure even biblical scholars will let you know, like, there is something very strange going on here. There's something very, very strange going on here. But still, I digress. Let me go back to the family right now. I want to see what my family actually has to say. What does my family actually have to say? Let's read quickly. There is T and Wolof are directly related. It's funny to hear things. You are being okay. Talk to me, family. Talk to me. Again, I'm gonna open this up in a little while. Somebody says here, Tawhido Ethiopian is before Tawhid Arabians from the Jews. Yeah. Okay, we hear you. You know? Yeah, man. These people definitely do need the medicine, though. And where's my medicine, man? Yo, Gabz, where you at, family? I know you're listening in, man. Where's my brother at? Like, so this is just upsetting my soul. And then even you want to think like, oh, but the laws, I'll even go into the laws of Ma'at with you and what the Jews say about the 10 commandments. The Jews themselves, I mentioned this earlier on. Let me just bring this up. Moses Maimonides, okay? One of the most brilliant minds in Jewish thought would even I didn't want to say tell you, okay? But he would even support, even if the Kemetic say that, this Moses looks like he actually got a lot of these stuff or influence or even adopted it or adapted it. I don't even know what you want to say. A lot of these things from Kemet, even if we make that claim, Moses Maimonides even supports this. I'm actually going to go to actually for those people who don't read, because y'all need to read what the Jews are saying as well. All right. Okay, on page 322 and page 323, yeah, he says, many precepts in our law are the results of a similar course adopted by the same supreme being. It is namely impossible to go suddenly from one extreme to the other. It is therefore, according to the nature of man, impossible for him suddenly to discontinue everything to which he has been accustomed. He quotes what God was Moses was sent to do and God was sent to do, etc. I'm going to skip onto page 323, and he states here, but the custom which was in those days general among all men, and the general mode of worship in which the Israelites were brought up consisted in sacrificing animals in those temples which contain certain images, to bow down to those images and to burn incense before them. Religious aesthetic persons were in those days the persons that were devoted to the service in the temples erected to the stars, as has been explained by us. Okay, it was accordance with the wisdom and plan of God as displayed in the whole creation that he did not command us to give up and to discontinue all these manners of service. For to obey such a commandment, it would have been contrary to the nature of man, who generally cleaves to that to which he is used. It would in those days have made the same impression as a prophet would make at present if he called us to the service of God and told us in his name that we should not pray to him, not fast, not seek help in time of trouble, that we should serve him in thought and not by action. For this reason, God allowed these kinds of service to continue. He transferred to his service that which had formerly served as a worship of created beings and of things imaginary and unreal, and commanded us to serve him in the same manner, viz., to build unto him a temple, and they shall make, and he's quoting, and the sacrifices and so forth, bow down, burn incense, and so forth. He's quoting from different biblical sources. He selected priests for the service in the temple. He made it obligatory that certain gifts, called the gifts of the Levites and the priests, should be assigned to them for their maintenance while they are engaged in the services and sacrifices and so forth. So what he's basically saying here is that let me just get to it real quickly. What he's basically saying is that even the teachings of Moses, the laws, the commandments, okay, the customs of sacrificing, building temples and so forth is merely an adaptation from what the so-called pagans or the Kemetics were doing in the land of Egypt. That's what he's saying, because the people were so accustomed to doing certain things. Okay, if a devout person, for example, in Kemet, we prayed a particular amount of times, we burned incense, we had temples, we had all of these different types of things. If these are seen to be the most religious people, those who are fasting and praying and singing chants and all those different types of things, if those are the most religious people, okay, seen to the most religious people, to tell them to stop all of that would be contrary to what would be perceived as being religious and being highly devout. So what we should do now is strip away the things that we perceive as being pagan and idolatry. Instead of sacrificing to an idol, let's just sacrifice to thin air. Okay, instead of building a temple to a particular nature, let's build a temple and consecrate it to Yahweh. Okay, instead of having certain customs like the Egyptians, let's adapt it a little bit and change it. So we can see, okay, based upon Jewish writers, this is Jewish writers writing, talking about, their time in Kemet, okay, that how their practices are practically similar to the Kemetic way of life, but what they've done is just strip away certain things, okay, to give it to a pure monotheism where it's abstract thought and so forth. That's what the author is saying. So if a Kemetic person now claims, okay, that, the 42 laws or the 42 negative confessions looks mighty similar to your 10 commandments, okay, it's fair enough to say that Moses was actually inspired by these 42 laws, yeah, and chose 10 of them, which the people were already doing because they're already part of the temple schools. They're already praying. They're already doing all those things, as Moses Maimonides is saying. But he takes 10 and strips away other things to give them their own way of doing things, or their own cult, so to speak. You have biblical scholars that that remark the same thing. I've said this again. Biblical scholars, Jewish scholars will tell you that the Genesis story within inside of the Bible, the Bereshith story, is just exactly the same as the Kemetic creation story. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. The spirit, the waters, the noon, the void, the darkness, etc., creating this by speaking, let there be that, let there be like exactly the same. Only difference is, as they all remark, it's a polemic against the Kemetic way of doing it. So if we tell you that your 10 commandments is actually coming from the 42 laws of Ma'ad, we've got great foundations. We've got very good foundations to say why. Why? Because the Jews are saying the same thing and the Christians are saying the same thing. But as Muslims, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, it can't be the fact, can it? Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, Simba, what's good, family? Talk to me.
What's good, fam? Yeah, you know, I agree that I don't think anyone is saying that Islam comes directly out of Kemet. But I think what we can say is that none of these religions fall out of the sky. All of these religions are constructs. They all borrow from previous civilizations. And if you look at Islam, for example, a lot of the basic concepts in Islam are not original to Islam. So if you look at Tawheed, or the concept of the Creator being one, you know, we had that in Kemet under Akhenaten, who said Aten was the one true Creator, and that there was no other God beside him. Even if you look at things like prayer or fasting or pilgrimage or giving to charity, none of that stuff is original to Islam. We had that in Nile Valley civilization. And at the end of the day, if you look at Islam, you know, there is no Islam without Judaism and Christianity. And if you look at Judaism, a lot of that stuff comes out of Kemet too. I mean, directly. I mean, the book of Proverbs is, you know, plagiarized from the instructions of Amenhotep. And biblical scholars today will admit to that too. I mean, anyone could Google this and see that too. So that's I mean, and you touched on that already. So that's all I'd say is that there's nothing original about any of these religions. They all borrow from previous civilizations. And the first civilization, or the first complex civilization, is Kemet, or Egypt, ancient Egypt. And that's where a lot of these concepts originate from. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say, man.
I apologize for the silence. I apologize. I was all trying to find something to give to the family, but unfortunately, my computer is not even trying to bless me right about now. Let me see if I can show you. I was going to show you something what even Muslims are saying as well. If somebody could just take over real quickly, so I can just grab this. If I can just grab something real quickly, it's only going to take me 30 seconds. So Simba, if you want to come back in real quickly for me.
Yeah, so that's because at the end of the day, you know, extraordinary claims call for extraordinary evidence. So if you're telling us that these religions, you know, that somehow came from God or Allah or whatever, it's, you know, the burden of proof is on you to sort of prove that. And then we haven't had that proof. And what we know from secular history is, as I just said, all of these religions are built from previous civilizations. Because at the end of the day, every particular religion is a product of a particular culture. Every particular culture is a product of a particular people. And these things are fluid. It comes through migration and the transfer of knowledge through interactions of different people. So I don't think anyone is saying that Islam directly comes from Kemet, or that it's plagiarized from Kemet in that sense of the word. But what we are saying is that the basic concepts that you see in all of these religions, whether it's Judaism, Christianity, or Islam, you find in earlier civilizations, especially Kemet. That's it. So, and you got, you know, you can't argue against that. You just can't argue against it. Period.
Facts right there. That's straight facts. See, I wanted to try to find something from, I believe I think it's even got the same name. Is it AbdulHaq or Abdul Quick? you know, literally writes about this as well. You know, a Muslim scholar writes about the same thing, but I couldn't, unfortunately. I have it, but it's not coming up on my work right now, so I can't even present it to the family. I wanted to though, just to show you guys. Actually, let me just download it. I'll just download it straight from straight from where it is at. Give me a second. There you go, family. Let me share my screen with you guys. Let's do a screen share. You could just do a quick search. Let's see, where are we going? Let's go right here, and let's just type in Kemet and Tawheed real quickly. Kemet, Tawheed. I like that. See, you guys need to be doing rebuttals here and refutals to what comes up straight away when you type in Kemet and Tawheed, which is, you know, Titans TV videos. That's what you need to be doing stuff on. That's it. Hakeem Quick. Hakeem Quick writes about this real quickly. It's actually in here. It's actually in here. Let me see if I can just get it then. I got a whole thing here for you guys. Desktop, Tawheed leaflet, Islam in Africa, chapter 1. So he's got here Islam in Africa, chapter 1, and I believe it's page 11. Page 11. If you want to attack somebody, go and attack your own Muslims, actually, because your own Muslim scholars, okay, is saying what we're saying to some degree. Tawheed, brackets, monotheism in early Africa. Islam has always played a central role in African spiritual belief and worldly affairs. The concept of a great cosmic spirit, an all-powerful, all-knowing God, can be found in almost all African traditional religions. In Islamic tradition, monotheism was a universal understanding shared by all people. In chapter 16 of the Noble Quran, Surah An-Nahl, verse 16, it is stated, and verily we have sent a messenger to every nation that they would worship Allah and avoid false deities. Okay, Islam is not, there you go, you're damn right, Islam is not a new or foreign religion. I don't know about that, but Islam is definitely not a new religion. But you're right here. Islam is not a new or foreign religion in Africa, but merely an organized expression of divine unity and human commitment. African people have been familiar with monotheistic teachings since the earliest settlements. The primary source of African people from the earliest times reveal the presence of a strong belief in one God. One of the oldest recorded expressions of an all-powerful creator is found in the teachings of Ptah-hotep, first published in the 5th Kemetic dynasty. Okay, and he writes here, he reportedly said, do not scheme against people, God will punish accordingly. If a man says, I shall live by scheming, he will lack bread for his mouth. People's schemes do not prevail. God's command is what prevails. Therefore, live in the midst of peace. What God gives comes by itself. Later in the Middle Kingdom of ancient Egypt, Kemet, well-known pharaoh of monotheism, Akhenaten, expressed his dedication to the sole God by singing praises and reorganizing the state religion. He focused on the power behind the sun instead of the multiplicity of gods. The following is part of one of his psalms, etc., etc. Also God besides whom, etc., etc., etc. I don't want to go into too much detail. So if you want to refute someone, go first and go and refute what your Muslim scholars are saying. Okay, go to your Muslim scholars. If you want to refute someone, you have better chance refuting your Muslim scholars than trying to refute us. If you want to know who that was by Hakeem Quick. Okay, that's Dr. Abdul Hakim Quick. If you guys want to know who Dr. Abdul Hakim Quick is, let me show you. He's a brilliant teacher, brilliant ustad. Dr. Abdullah Hakim Quick. You see a lot of his YouTube videos as well, but this is him here. Now, let me not go to Wikipedia. Let me go to his own thing. So if you want to argue with someone, go and argue with Abdul Hakim Quick. There he is right there. Dr. Abdul Hakim Quick, one of the greatest Muslim minds, especially African or Black Muslim minds. Okay, that's him right there. If you want to argue with someone, go and argue with him. This is what he's saying. This is not even what Kemetics are saying. This is what your own scholars are saying about Kemet and Tawheed and monotheism. Go argue with them. Don't argue with us, because we don't even make the claims that you're trying to put on us that we make. We don't even make those claims. So what's good, family? What's good? Honey Pharaoh, what you saying? Yeah, the stream is working now. Oh my gosh, I'm okay. Cool. African goddess, you should be proud. Okay, cool. What's good, family? Again, if you want to jump in, because we're gonna sign out soon. Don't get it twisted. We're gonna sign out soon. So if you want to jump in, yeah, and talk with us. We definitely want to hear what you got to say. Kalam, who claims Islam is a new religion? No one claims Islam is a new religion. I hope they don't. Well, no. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Islam is. It depends on how you want to classify a new religion. You know, because Islam as a religion was founded 1400 years ago. You know, according to the Quran, it is this day that I have perfected your deen and named it Islam. So that's when it was formally constructed and created. So 1400 years ago, okay, it's not that much. It's not that new. It's 1400 years old. So you're saying, family, and don't try to conflate Tawheed or monotheism or oneness of God, that being Islam, because that's not Islam. Okay, because if that's Islam, if that is truly Islam, then the African continent should have never been pillaged, raped, and put into slavery, because you guys in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 15th centuries believed that these people were not Muslims, and it was lawful for you guys to do jihad and kill them off and enslave them. And I know my brother, AbdulHaq is on this thing for slavery in Islam. So I know that statement there, he's gonna hold on to and be like, yeah, I've got you, Kalam, I've got you. So I hope so. So let's get it on. Let's get it in. Marshall Mavis, you're here. Dark, you're here. What's good, family? Talk to me, because I'm about to close out soon.
Yeah,
have you got anything to say?
Salam alaikum, akhi.
Wa alaikum salam.
What's good? Peace.
Yeah.
What's up?
Assalamu alaikum. So, brother, I just want to address one thing that one of the brothers said, that he said that the Islamic monotheism was actually plagiarized from ancient Egyptians. And that's wrong, because even before Islam, we can see people, they were worshiping one God, but the way they were doing it was actually wrong. Let me give you an example.
Hold on. Stop. Before you continue, who? That's the problem that we're receiving with this article. Who claims this?
No, but the brother.
I'm asking you, who claims it? Before you continue, who claims it first?
One of the brothers here, he said that the whole thing of the Islamic monotheism was actually copied from, from ancient people. He did not specify who. But what I'm saying to you.
Okay, hold on. Wait. Because anything that you may say now can potentially become fallacious. So I want to know, the brothers who are on the panel right now, did any of you guys make that claim?
No. Okay, let me just clarify what he said. He said that the whole laws of the religion of Islam are not something new. But what he said, he said it was actually, it was before even Islam, it was there. And this is what, and I totally agree with that, because I'm not someone who denies that. But what I'm saying to you, there were people who do believe in one God, but the way, for example, the Christians, they do claim they are monotheistic. But
so are you going to take back that statement that the brother said that Islam is plagiarized from Africa or from Kemet?
No,
because you made a claim something like that.
No, he was the one making the allegation that the Islamic monotheism was actually plagiarized from somewhere else.
Because he said that all throughout Africa, okay, we had these individual aspects that is inside of Islam.
Yeah, but my
praying, fasting, all of those things there is not something that originated with Islam. Other people, other cultures had these things already. And I'm pretty sure he didn't say that Islam plagiarized it from them.
I got you, ya akhi. Wallahi, I got you. But what I'm saying to you, I know that before even so-called Abrahamic religions, there were people who do practice monotheism or tawheed. But what I'm saying to you, if you look back into the history, you can see that the people who call themselves monotheistic people, the way they were practicing or they were performing their monotheism is actually wrong. And this is why I believe that this is why Islam came as a correction to the previous books, to correct them and show them the right way to communicate with the Almighty God. And this is what I'm saying. It's a correction to the previous books. It's not something new. I'm not denying that. There were people who were practicing monotheism. I agree with that. but Islam came as a correction to the previous people and the previous books.
Okay, so now I want to ask you this question though.
Yes, sir.
You know, based upon the article, the pamphlet that your Muslim brother actually wrote, what are your first thoughts on it?
Well, I wasn't here from the beginning, but if you could just read it for me, I would appreciate it, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly.
Because I just came here recently.
All right. He claims.
But you can basically just summarize, you know, the main point.
He claims that Afrocentric Kemetic thinkers have asserted that Islam has merely adopted Tawheed from the ancient Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten. That's his claim.
Well, I would say that the ancient Egyptian people, they had the concept of monotheism. I'm not denying that. But what I'm saying to you, the way they were practicing their so-called monotheism is not acceptable. And if you make a comparison between the Islamic Tawheed or the ancient Egyptian Tawheed, you can see a huge difference, a huge distinction. And this is the point. And this is what I'm saying. The Islamic monotheism in particular is actually so unique because
Agreed. We're in agreement. Because guess what? We as Kemetics, we don't make that claim full stop.
That's right.
The whole point is that the brother was strawmanning and trying to present it as though we make that claim. We don't make that claim. And he created an argument that doesn't exist inside of Kemetic authors and scholars that I am presently aware of, and that he mentioned within inside of his article itself. It was highly fallacious, highly fallacious.
Yes, sir.
But anyways,
yes,
mute your mic, my brother. Let's just get other people onto the panel.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there's somebody else, Mike, that's making a lot of noise. King, I suppose.
Hello, peace.
King, peace.
Peace,
Is
brother.
there anything that you would like to say?
Yeah, it's the same thing as what the other brother said, that monotheism
Go ahead.
had existed throughout history, and we should not conflict to Tawheed, like what Raspix had said previously, like Tawheedo. Yeah, we believe that other nations had monotheism in it, such as Akhenaten.
All right, cool. Just keep your mic muted, my brother.
Yeah, if I can just add a small point.
Go ahead, King.
Yeah, see, that's the Islamic narrative that they came to fix previously distorted beliefs, you know what I mean? But obviously outside of that, that's not the case. And when you look at the hadith collections, you can see many stories of actually Muhammad bringing in a lot of Arabian paganism into his new religion, and the Jews had to correct him multiple times. Like one story I can bring out from the top of my head is Muhammad used to say, for example, Inshallah wa shait, yeah, in Arabic means if God wills and you will. And a Jew came up to him one day and corrected him. He said, why do you say that? You should just say if God wills. Why are you adding someone with God? And then after that day, Muhammad said, oh yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. And then he just corrected himself. And there's multiple stories like this in the hadith collection. So let me just add that in.
If you got the source for that, please cite it so other people can actually
yes.
do the research
please,
and look on
please, my akhi, if you get the link,
I gotta dig that up. I gotta dig that up. Yeah.
Because you made some allegations.
Okay. Again, I
claim, yes, but that's from memory. But yeah. If I have it, I'll link it.
All right. I'm guessing people don't understand that there's rules to the show. So please do not unmute your mic unless I inform you to unmute your mic to speak. Okay. There's 3 rules on Talk with the Titans. Rule number 1 is to keep your mic muted at all times. Rule number 2 is to respect somebody's cipher and don't over talk them. And rule number 3 is no profanity, no ad hominem. So Doc, please mute your mic. Yo, medicine man. Medicine man. Yo, medicine man. Yo, you free? Talk to me.
Yeah,
hold on 1 second,
man. I've just been running. Oh,
hold on 1 second. Doc, can you mute your mic, please? All right, go ahead, King. Go on, Gabz. Go on, Gabz. On your mic, G.
Sorry, bro. What's happening? What's happening?
Yeah.
Yo, what's the topic on? What have I missed, bro? What have I missed?
We done dissected that little pamphlet that they want to hand out on Sunday.
Oh snap! Yeah. Sorry, that is mad. That is mad. But you know what? Yeah, like I was saying to you earlier, yeah, that means that's to show you, yeah, that obviously the work that we've been doing and the stuff that we've been putting out, obviously, has been spreading. Obviously, it's been people have been seeing the knowledge that we've been sharing. Do you know what I mean? And it's starting to rustle a couple feathers. So, because I didn't understand why that pamphlet was made, but nonetheless, you know what I mean, it was a good attempt. You know what I mean? Fair play to the brother that did the little pamphlet, but you know, there's a load of claims that he put in there that just easy to get refuted.
Real easily. I don't know. Did you get a chance to actually read any part of it?
Bro, do you know what? Yeah, I did. Yeah, and then when I got to certain points, I slightly had to stop myself. I slightly had to stop myself from laughing, but I'm gonna continue reading the last couple bits. But bro, I've seen some outlandish claims, bro. Like I didn't understand it. You told me a little bit, but when I had to see it from my own eyes, I was just like, wow, serious. But like I said, man, there's a lot of sickness in the world, you know. That's why the medicine has to be transported, you know. That's the only way, because boy, oh man, I don't know, man. I don't know. What can I say? Did you know what you should have done? You should have shared that pamphlet to the people, you know. And I'm sure you're gonna end up doing a show on it as well, and just break down the misconceptions and some of the stuff that was being mentioned on that little leaflet.
I done a little. I didn't go into the major depth that I can go in. I just done a little, just to wet their taste buds. But to be honest with you, that was as much as I needed to go into it, because it doesn't demand time. It doesn't, because let's just go to the premise first of all. The premise is that Kemetic people make such and such claims. Quote which Kemetic people make such and such claims. If you can't quote it and you can't substantiate your claim, then where are we going with this? Where exactly are we going with this? So we can't go too far with it. It's just a waste of time to even read any further. So
hey brother Kalam, what are you guys talking about when it comes to pamphlet? Could you give the background story to that?
So I guess unfortunately, you came in late. You know, I shared the pamphlet with everybody, which is this particular pamphlet over here. Okay, that AbdulHaq Al-Ashanti from Brixton Mosque wrote in response to Afrocentric claims. As you can see it's called Tawheed. Can you see on your screen? Let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it, yeah.
It's called Tawheed, the Pharaoh Akhenaten, and the Kemet Afrocentrics, a refutation of Afrocentric writings on Islam, part 1, numero uno. Okay, so this is the first part that he's actually got out. And his hopes is to refute Afrocentric writings on Islam.
Yeah.
And he talks about Tawheed, and that the Pharaoh Akhenaten and the Kemetic Afrocentrics, and that we basically claim that Islam has adopted Tawheed from ancient Egyptian Pharaoh Akhenaten.
Yeah.
He then tries to cite in his footnotes 3 authors, namely Molefi Ashanti, Yosef Ben Yachanan, or formerly known, affectionately known as Dr. Ben, and somebody else called Ahmed Osman. Okay, and supposedly these authors support the claim that Tawheed is adopted from ancient Egyptian Pharaoh Akhenaten. Okay, so supposedly these authors make this claim. We go through the work and we find out that Molefi Ashanti, that he's quoting inside of his footnotes, makes no such claim at all. We then go to Dr. Yosef Ben Yachanan's book, and we find out he makes no he makes no such claims. He's actually discussing crosses inside of his book. Okay, he's discussing crosses, pre-Christianic crosses, but now the author now fallaciously relates that to do with monotheism or Tawheed. The same with Molefi Ashanti. You know, he's now talking about you know, the different schools of inside of Kemet have all come to the conclusion that there is one deity, one God, and they've created a philosophy behind it. Okay, and the closest that the author makes to not even makes to even such a claim, the author merely states that you know, they have different names. The name of the deity has changed and transformed throughout the times. For example, Amun, Atum, Atumra, Amunra, etc. It's transformed throughout the time, and he basically states this is just like in Islam, it's just like in Christianity, just like in Judaism, just like in Yoruba, just like in Ifa, where you have multitudes of names basically, but the purpose and the role and the function of the deity remains the same. Okay, he basically does an analogy. Okay, but then the author of this particular pamphlet jumps on the analogy and tries to claim that the author is now putting forward an argument that Islam adopted monotheism or Tawheed from Kemet, which the author doesn't even put forward at all. So it's just, you know, we've really gone through it. We've really seen how the author really tries to misrepresent Kemetic thought authors and philosophy and writings. And then further to that, he now quotes Ahmed Osman, which is a European featured Egyptian, who gets you know, one of his claims from Freud, which is another European as well. So it's like you're quoting Europeans. The whole article is filled, let's just say, with at least 15
Eurocentric
quotes, Eurocentric authors. Two of them, and another two Afrocentrics. That's it. Two Afrocentrics that don't even support the claims that that's being made via your article. So I was
who handed out this pamphlet? Was it one of the old guys that
you know, we did a live stream on Wednesday, and somebody in the live stream stated that they've seen these pamphlets being handed out in Brixton Mosque. Okay. And then we rang up somebody that we know, rang up Brixton Mosque. They said that they're actually out of the pamphlets. They've handed them all out basically. We infer from that. And we spoke to Abdul Hamid, and he says that, you know, he's got a box full of them and he shall be handing them out at Speaker's Corner. And then we've got the pictures of them from Abdul Hamid as well. So, you know, we've had an opportunity before it's even distributed out to the public, outside of Islamic public. We've now had a good look, a review and analysis of this particular work. And, you know, we are happy that this work has been produced, but we're also disappointed because it's a misrepresentation of Kemetic writers and people and the Kemetic movement, full stop. So that's the end and be all of it, really.
Well, brother, can I just add a small comment?
Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, I would say this is not new with Muslims. You know, when you have in their own book, the Christian Trinity includes Mary, which this is totally fallacious. You know, Mary is not included in the Christian Trinity, but that's in the Quran. It says the mother, the father, the mother, and the son, which no Christian believes that. And that's like, I haven't even seen one denomination of Christianity. Same thing with the Quran saying Ezra is the son of Jesus. I've never read that in the whole Old Testament, the Tanakh. You know what I mean? So Muslims, I would say, me personally, you know what I mean, they always misrepresent people's beliefs in order to push their false belief. That's my personal comment, you know.
That's it. Just to correct you briefly, I believe it's
Kalam,
Ezra.
can I just
Ezra?
Kalam,
I believe it says that Ezra is supposedly the son of Allah rather than Jesus, just to, you know, make sure that the Muslims don't come back at you.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, Ezra is the son of Allah for the Jews, and then Mary is part of the Trinity for the Christians, which both are totally false. You know, that's errors in the Quran. But yeah, go ahead.
I'm with you. Now, Brother Marshall, or anybody else who would like to actually speak, this is how you can get my attention. Either show your face with inside of your icon itself or inside of your camera and wave to me and let me know that you want to actually speak, or simply mute and unmute your mic a few times and it will garner my attention. So that's the way you can contact me. right here within inside of this bit to let me know that you would like to speak next. Please do not speak over anybody because you will be ejected. All right, Marshall, so talk to me.
Yes, Akhi. Thank you so much. So yeah, so this gentleman, yeah, I don't know his name, but he made a claim, yeah, that the Quran got the Trinity incorrect. If this gentleman could just show me the verse in the Quran where it says that the Father, the Son, and Mary are the components of the Trinity, then maybe we can discuss it. But I know the verse, and I'm sure this gentleman just heard it from somewhere else, and he's making the claim. So I want him to bring the verse and back up his allegation.
Okay, I think that can happen once we go off air. All right, so family, has anybody got anything else to say? If so, please just unmute your mic before we go off air. Somebody's unmuted their mic. King, is that you? Did you have anything to say?
Who's the author of the pamphlet, by the way?
It's the author is AbdulHaq Al-Ashanti.
Okay.
Okay, if that's the only question, please mute your mic because it has terrible background noise. Anybody else would like to say something before we close out? I wanted to read some of these comments via the comment section. So if you've got any comments, let me know real quickly, and then I will read them out for you. No more questions, no more comments. All right, I guess we're gonna go into like a fight afterwards. You know how we get down. You know how we do this. In the comment section, if anybody would like the link, let me post you the link real quickly. Because you know, once we go off air, it's gonna get a bit lively. Right? It's gonna get real lively. Let me just see. So if you got any more comments or questions, just tag Titans TV and leave your questions or comments. Callum, thank you for this chat. I've really enjoyed it. No problem, Foxy Middlesbrough. This is what I mean. People need to do their own research. Indeed, Africa, goddess. But science supports evolution. Why is it lie? Non-Muslims jump on the link. Respect, Callum. Thanks for the show. No problems. Thanks for the show, Callum. Real things. Yep. All right. So, Kalefi, did you want to say something while Kofi? Did you want to say something while we're live, or are we going to just go in once we're off air? All right. I guess it's off air then. That's good. Anyways, family. Okay, Rakeem joined. So let me know. Did you want to say? You guys can say anything right now whilst we're on air. Otherwise, I'm going to close out.
Bro, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, just to maintain my original position, I wasn't necessarily saying that Tawhid comes from Kemet. I was just mainly making the point that monotheism in and of itself is a concept that predates Islam. Even in Christianity, before the church councils in the 4th century, you had Unitarian Christians who weren't Trinitarian Christians, and they believed much of what Muslims believe today about God. So I wasn't saying that the concept of Tawhid comes directly from Kemet. I was merely making the point that monotheism, in many sort of distinctions and variations, existed prior to Islam, and that Tawhid isn't probably as original as you probably think it is. Peace.
All right, perfect. So let me know, because I'm seeing that the comment section wants to hear what's going to go on off air. You know, jeez. So guys, should we stay on air or should we go off air? Let's get it in, because the floor is open. If nobody doesn't say nothing right now, that means I'm going to go off air and then we can have this conversation off air. So I'm going to give it 5 seconds. All right, cool. All right, thank you everybody for tuning in. This has been Talk with the Titans. We've been discussing this pamphlet that was authored by AbdulHaq Al-Ashanti from the Brixton Masjid, trying to refute Afrocentric writers on the concept of Tawhid originating in Egypt under Akhenaten. So thanks for you guys for tuning in. I've been Kalam, and this has been Talk with the Titans. Signing out. Peace. Love.